Hi, Punya. Punya, can you hear me?
Yes, Sagar, I can. Hi.
Hi. Okay, I've made you co-host. I'll leave. I'll join back in a little while because my
Okay,
network is fluctuating. I'm not in Pune actually.
okay. No worries.
Okay, so you'll be able to admit people. I'll in fact make you host.
Good morning, everybody. We will be starting in 2 minutes. We'll just give 2 minutes to everybody else to join in, and then we're going to start off with the meeting. There are quite a few members who've messaged me that they're just about to join, so we'll just give them 2 minutes and we'll start. Okay, guys, let's begin. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to first introduce TOC for the benefit of our eminent guest speakers today, as well as a lot of other people who may be attending a TOC session for the first time. So let me give you a very quick introduction of what the TOC community is about. And then introduce the theme, the main topic for today's discussion, introduce all the panelists who are going to be speaking, and then we'll get started. I am going to also record. Okay, the meeting is already getting recorded. Great. So welcome to the Outreach Collective, which is TOC. Now, what is exactly is the TOC? So imagine a place where education enthusiasts, career connoisseurs, and all around ed innovators come together. But what is the difference? They don't come together to compete, but they actually come together to collaborate and uplift one another. That place is TOC, the Outreach Collective. So here we foster an eclectic community that spans the entire spectrum of the education industry. And we create a safe haven for genuine, heartwarming dialogues and exchanges. So again, I'm going to reiterate that the TOC is not about competition, it's about collaboration. Who are the members of TOC? The members of TOC are actually passionate educators, sharp-eyed counselors, savvy edtech pioneers, maybe some mental health advocates who are very, very empathetic, and many more stakeholders who are actually dedicated to making a positive impact on the education landscape. Our community actually thrives on the diversity of its members that brings together a wealth of perspectives and expertise. What sets TOC apart is the genuine, heartfelt dialogues. You can see from the theme, even today's theme, the speakers are actually going to be talking about some actual life experiences, their life stories, their journeys. And it's not a very, very formal group, even though we discuss heavy duty formal stuff out here. We cover a range of wide topics from, say, the latest trends in the AI and education to all important mental well-being of our beloved educators. Our discussions are not just centered around information, but deep personal bonds that members make and the experiences they've had. So whether it's delving into the nuances of student life, exploring innovative career paths like what we are doing today, or dissecting the latest advancements in the edtech sector, the conversations are always endeavored to be engaging and impactful. One of the hallmarks of TOC, which I'm sure all members here of TOC will agree, is the lightning fast response to all the queries that we put, whether it's university admission requirements or career advice. 1 hour that I don't see my phone, I suddenly realize there are over 500 unread messages on the TOC group. So consider us your personal academic superheroes, always ready to provide insights, guidance, and support. Our members are very, very quick to share their knowledge and experiences, ensuring that everyone benefits from the collective wisdom of the group. The dynamic exchange of information helps the community members stay ahead of the curve. But TOC is more than just a forum for discussion. It's a family. We pride ourselves on creating a supportive and inclusive environment where everybody feels valued. Our members are dedicated to helping one another succeed, whether it's through sharing resources, offering mentorship, or collaborating on sessions. It's brilliant to see two independent college counselors today, Navya and Ritu, who are meant to compete with each other in the outside world, but are here to collaboratively share their insights with the community. So that's the power of TOC. In addition to the vibrant online community that we have, TOC hosts a variety of events and learning sessions. The testament to that is the session that we're doing today. From expert-led webinars on cutting-edge topics to interactive workshops, we provide our members numerous ways to engage, learn, and grow. This is the first session that the new AGB is organizing, first of the many, many, many more informative sessions that are to follow. So whether you're here to share insights, seek advice, or simply bask in the warmth of the like-minded professionals who've gathered today, let me remind you again that TOC is a brilliant community. With this, I would like to welcome everybody to TOC and the session today. Let me introduce what today's session is about. So today we are going to be delving into a world which is as grand and glamorous as a Bollywood blockbuster. So you guessed it right. It's the wedding industry that we are talking about, inspired by the recent jaw-dropping wedding of Anant Ambani and Radhika Merchant. And we are going to be exploring the careers and grandeur within this vibrant sector. So the topic of today's discussion is Beyond the Vows, Careers and Grandeur in India's Wedding Industry. So now, if the Ambani wedding did actually not make you reconsider your career choice, I actually don't know what will. I mean, who would not want a piece of the action in an industry that can make even the most extravagant Bollywood set look like a child's play? Within a wedding set that looked so colossal, it's no wonder that the world's eyes are on India's booming wedding industry. From elephants and fireworks to couture and cuisine, it was a spectacle that redefined the term big fat Indian wedding. Speaking of our superheroes, let me introduce you to our distinguished speakers today, the Avengers of the wedding industry, if you will. So we have Mr. Pranay Dawar, the mastermind behind Wedding Darzi, which can transform any event into a fairy tale. Mr. Pranay Dawar is a wedding planner, and he also played a small role in the Ambani wedding. We are very, very happy to have him today with us. And we have Miss Neeti Luthra, the magician of makeup and grooming, whose brushes and palettes turn dreams into reality. Uh, I will let the members introduce themselves so that they can do justice to their expertise, their experience, and their journey. So Pranay and Neeti will share now their career journeys, the scope of their work with all of us, and the future of the industry. They're also going to be giving us a sneak peek behind the scenes of what it takes to create those unforgettable wedding moments, and maybe even share some juicy anecdotes from the recent wedding. We're also then going to be hearing from our brilliant educators, Navya and Ritu, who are going to be diving into the top career paths within the wedding industry, highlighting both the common and the rapidly growing niche roles. So, from wedding planning to luxury concierge services, they will guide us on the educational pathways and skills required to succeed in this glamorous world. Finally, we are going to be wrapping up with a lively panel discussion where the moderator, yours truly, will be asking our experts some pertinent questions. We are going to be exploring the unique challenges that they faced, the skills needed to thrive, and how we can prepare the next generation for success in the wedding industry. To make acquaintance with all of you yet again, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Punya Vich, founder of EduCoach Services, which is an independent college counseling firm based in New Delhi. So buckle up, folks. Let's just start off with the session. I'm going to invite Mr. Pranay first to go ahead and give us an introduction of who he is, what wedding does he is, how does the day look like, what are the challenges that you face, what are the highs and the lows. Over to you, Mr. Pranay.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to thank Punya Vij Educoach Services, the Outreach Collective, for having me here. And thanks a lot to Miss Ritu Vasan, Navya Mehta, and Niti Luthra. Thanks a lot. And thanks a lot to everyone for having us here. So, of course, can I share the slide? I've just
Absolutely.
prepared a small slide.
I'm going to be giving you screen sharing rights. Just give me a
Sure,
minute.
thanks.
I have made you the co-host. You should be able to do it.
Sure. Yeah, I think so. I got it. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. So I've had a very interesting career, and so I started my career when I was 18 years old, and actually wanted to become a DJ. So I used to play in I was an assistant DJ of F Bar, and 7 to 8 months I realized that my left ear actually stopped working, and then I went to doctor, and he just told me that DJ is not for you, big no no. So of course, it took me almost 6, 7 months to realize that, okay, now I don't have anything to do because that's what I knew. And then I started working in a corporate company. Of course, there I used to do corporate events. And when I used to do corporate events, slowly, one of the guys named Vivek Sahani and Dave Chang, I don't know if you've heard of Kama Ayurveda. So Kama Ayurveda, of course, used to do wedding invites before. And with wedding invites, these guys used to do wedding designing. So now, of course, at that point of time, no one knew what wedding designing is. So now, of course, we have got wedding planners, wedding designers, and wedding production people. Now, of course, it is much more organized than I used to think almost around about 10 to 12 years back. So then he picked me up, and then I started realizing that I should do wedding designing. And for good 4 5 years, I did wedding designing. But then I realized that it is actually taking toll on my health. And of course, during wedding designing, there was nothing called wedding planning that point of time. And you guys used to help everyone. We used to get artists, we used to get makeup artists, we used to get, all the floral guys all together. And that too, we guys used to help. And that time, we never knew that, you know, we actually wanted a wedding planner on board. So 5 years down the line, I realized that, of course, I really need to shift from wedding designing to wedding planner. And 5 years back, I turned out to be a wedding planner. And of course, now I teach in a lot of wedding schools and everything. And a lot of wedding schools are also upcoming now to, make people know about what weddings are exactly all about. Okay. So what exactly we do in Wedding Darzi? So Wedding Darzi is a basically unique unique company where we actually where we actually tell people how to go about anything and everything. So people come to us with the budget, and within that budget, we actually curate their experiences where we have actually tell them that whether we talk about your budget, we consult about the budgets, we consult about the venues, designing, logistics, planning, and everything. So starting to basically start from basically you talk about the logo, invites, layouting of the venues, freezing of the venues, discussing with the hotel or maybe the other venues, and getting them all together. So basically, tomorrow, if you tell me that, Pranay, you know what, I want Badsha, so to get Badsha on board, here we guys are, So of course, a client cannot actually connect to Badsha directly. So we basically bridge the gap to get Badsha on board, or maybe to get, of course, Sir Justin on board and Rihanna on board. So we guys were actually the gap to bridge the gap between all of them and to get them. And of course, with all of these things, it is not that simple as it easy as it looks, because a lot of people are involved. A very big team is involved. Handling guests, managing their tantrums, handling them, and of course, when you are doing HNI, weddings and high profile weddings, they come with a lot of baggage, because and in our industry there's one word which we can't say is no, which we haven't actually learned. So there's no in our industry. So it has been quite impressive that way. So wedding darzi gets everything to you sitting at home, so you don't have to go anywhere. We just come to you with everything. So, of course, that day discussion, post-wedding offerings, that day rehearsals, how the bride will come, how the groom will enter, how will Jaimala happen, where will the SFX go, about the permissions, licenses, everything. That's where wedding darzi comes. So, of course, now, if you actually see, the wedding industry is actually booming now. And like the way, if you must have heard, at a point of time, everyone wanted to get into hotel management. Now, everyone wants to get into event management and wedding management. Why? Because, first of all, thanks to Sir Modi, where he actually said Wedding Bharat. And now, due to Wedding Bharat, and of course, I promote Wedding Bharat a lot, because I'm a part of tourism, and I'm a part of India tourism, where actually I also have to promote Wedding Bharat. But in capacity, we guys have got such a beautiful locations where we talk about, Lalit Srinagar. I've just done 2 weddings in Lalit Srinagar. I'm doing another 3 weddings in Lalit Srinagar. And you talk about Kochi, you talk about Uttarakhand, you talk about, East. I'm doing another wedding in Odisha, and you've got a beautiful lakes and everything. So we have got such a interesting scenic views in our country, and it is very much easy to do business in our country where we can actually collaborate with a lot of people. You know, we can connect to people, we can collaborate with them, and we can curate and we can create amazing experience for our clients. So I think so. Wedding industry is gonna boom where AI is also coming in the picture. Lot of things now these days. We are getting tech inside our weddings where we have got huge LED screens. We've got VI playing over and lot of lights and everything. I wish I could have got time and I should have actually shared all the videos what I have, because it is really amazing what we actually do. In a very limited time. So we get 1 night or 2 nights and we have to curate all the experiences in the given time. So of course, what challenges we go through is the complex logistics, vendors, security. Now, last time when I was doing a wedding in Srinagar, of course, vendors is a very big problem. We could not find vendors, the right vendors, what we are looking at, because of course everyone wants a luxury wedding. So we could not get a good furniture. We could not get a floral guy. We could not get the right kind of sound. So then we had to travel everything from Chandigarh. All right. Another case, the best part, the day I was doing a wedding, Sir Modi was coming to Srinagar. So then I had to fight for all the permissions and licenses so that I could actually create this experience so that my wedding doesn't get spoiled. Sir Modi is also coming and I'm handling his SPGs also. And in the meanwhile, I'm doing anything and everything to achieve and to give my client a very happy experience. And of course, a major role what we actually plays is the budget, because whether we talk about Sir Ambani, 5,000 crores was also very less. So budget is also very critical part in our with us, because if you give us 5,000 crores, you give us 10,000 crores. That's also less for us, because you can think, you can imagine, you can do whatever. That's also very less. So we have to take care of our budget. Plus, our high profile clients always expect a lot from you. Like last time, I was just, I curated experience, created a one room, and my client comes and he says, I don't like it. You got to change. I was like, you already approved it. He said, I don't like it now. I don't like it in real. So, in one night, we had to change the entire room. And that too, I'm talking about not a small room, I'm talking about almost 13,000 square feet room. So that's about it. You got to do this. So that's about it. So, yeah. So over to you, Poona, now.
Thank you so much, Pranay. It almost felt that we were all attending the wedding. Thank you for giving us a glimpse into it. And I will be coming back to you when we hold a panel discussion with Miss Neeti as well as the other two college counselors. Over to Miss Neeti Luthra. As mentioned before, I'm not going to be introducing you, and I would like you to introduce yourself because you will be able to do justice to your introduction and your journey. So over to you, Ms. Neeti.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Punya, for having me on the panel discussion. And thank you to all the members also. Hi, everyone. I'm Neeti. I'm a professional makeup artist. And I've been in the industry for almost 18 years. And as Pranay said, we never decide what we're going to do. I was not a makeup artist. And let me tell you, I didn't even know how to put a liner. You know, I was a French tutor at that time, and it was just super boring. And how family pushes you, no, no, you have to study, you have to do this. So I said, I can't do this. And suddenly one fine day, as you say, technology was that time also there. We were watching YouTube videos and we, started looking at these makeup videos. And one fine day, I experimented a look on myself, And that's how my journey began because I attended a wedding after that. And somebody told me that, you've done your look. You look very pretty today. And I was like, really? I experimented on myself. And then it just clicked me that why not this profession? 20 years back, this was no profession, and I had to really fight it out that no, I want to do a makeup course. That time I was residing in Bangalore, and all the way from Bangalore, I flew down to Delhi to do a course with a very senior makeup artist, Vidya Chitari. I finished my course, I made my cake, and then, when I came back home with the certificate, I started howling. I didn't know what to do because there was no work, and I didn't know where to go and whom to paint now and how to earn money out of it. So then, when I went back to Bangalore, then I started my journey. So my journey began with training schools. I used to train these clients, in hospitals for their grooming sessions. And the best thing that happened to me was that every day I would paint at least 10 pages and my hand was going flawless. It really helped. It was a lot of practice. And from there, we started calling a lot of event industries, started calling them up. I called up a lot of fashion photographers. It was not so easy then. But anyways, it was a good breakthrough when I got a call from Z and they got me on board for one of their studios. And then there was no looking back. I was pretty well settled in the makeup industry in Bangalore, and suddenly, after 2 years, I come back to Delhi, and I'm again back to zero, and have no idea what to do. But then, again, started the journey with photographers. So, guys, let me tell you, makeup industry is not only about doing makeup in the wedding. It's about grooming yourself, feeling beautiful, feeling confident all the time. When you look at professions now in makeup industry, like Pranay said, everybody wants to be a wedding planner. Every woman wants to be a makeup artist too. We have a lot of options in the makeup industry. Like you can have grooming sessions, you can be a trainer, you can be a trainer with the corporate sector. You can choose media if you want to work for ad campaigns. You can choose film line if you want to work for movies. You can choose wedding, which is a big industry right now. So yes, there are a lot of opportunities when you talk about makeup right now. And coming back to when you say challenges, when we talk about challenges in our industry, yes, uh, we cannot say no, as you've already mentioned. No means you're out of the industry for that matter. So you have to have, everything ready in your kit. It is very, what you say, you can say it's kind of an expensive industry because you have to really invest a lot in the right kind of kit. It's a difficult industry because you're prepping different kind of skins. You're having challenges with different, age groups, and then you have to match it to the even the decor of the wedding. The bride and groom expect us to do that kind of look. If you look at wedding which has recently happened, like the Ambani wedding, it was all glamour. When it comes to makeup trends, it was all about looking beautiful with dewy skin and glowing skin. That was the emphasis this particular wedding. But then again, when we look at makeup industry, we are still following the old methods and the new technology. So we are looking at the old methods. We're doing those, gorgeous sprays and following those coal liners. And when you look at the newer technology, they're using techniques like airbrush to have that flawless finish on your skin. So this is what it is about the makeup industry. And also, I feel that with the challenges, you have to also keep in mind that there is no time limit in our industry. You have to have early morning call times. You can have late night because you're doing the events at night. Also, like he was mentioning, you have Bacha coming down. So Bacha would also need makeup. You have makeup artists for Bacha as well. So you're doing backstage work. So there are no timings in our industry. So that is one of the biggest challenges. Obviously, it's a very competitive market. That's the biggest challenge again. But then if you're passionate, I think you can achieve anything that you want. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Neeti. You explained very well what the wedding makeup industry looks like and how it transcends beyond the wedding industry into so many other facets that it has, whether it's personal grooming, whether it's getting into the media industry. So thank you so much for enlightening us. Thank you both, Pranay and Neeti, for giving us a glimpse into what your day looks like, what your company does. And now I'm going to move to our college counselor, Navya. Navya, I'm going to request you to give us an overview of, say, about top 10, 15 career paths within the wedding industry that you can think of, all the different stakeholders involved who come together to make the wedding day an actual grand success, and give us an idea of some common and in-demand careers that you think could emerge from there, and what are the educational pathways and skills that you think may be required for some of these careers.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I think while I was listening to the both of them, so many more career choices came into my mind when I was just more than, and I think I had about 22 of them already, on my mind when I was preparing for today's presentation. But I think I'll quickly work, and I would really like if, I love how sari draping wasn't something that I'd thought of as a career, but definitely a huge one, especially thanks to Dolly Jain. But I'll just quickly walk through a couple of them, and then I'd really like for the others also to hop in and just talk about, what they have in mind as well. So of course, the first one being the wedding planner who's coordinating everything. I think a lot of what I really tried to do with the careers I looked at was just to go beyond hospitality management as well, because I think a lot of times people feel that if they have to get into the wedding industry, the background has to be hospitality management, whereas that is not true. Then of course the photographer and videographer, there's a floral designer. So I think if we look at the wedding industry right now, a lot of times with a higher paying capacity, people want to flaunt more. People want to, if not flaunt, the grandeur and the scale of the events have of course increased drastically. And what else do you do, right? Because the groom and the bride will still be there. If they were wearing 1 lakh rupees outfits before, now they'll be wearing 3 lakhs. Or even 5 lakhs. So I think the scale of all of those things just increases. And with that, the specialization also increases from time to time. With floral designer, I know that from Radhika Merchant wore an outfit for her haldi, which was completely made of flowers. And I think it was something that she'd worn over the top. So that was something beautiful. And I think that is something only a floral designer can execute, even with the decor as well. A culinary specialist, because now I think earlier we would just have a small layout of food, but now we have all sorts of cuisines, and I think a room full of food, and of course the scale of, which caterer you're going for, how much specialization also increases from that. Something that did not exist before was a bridal consultant. Now brides hire consultants to help them decide what to wear for each outfit, depending on how they look, their shapes, their sizes, and their budgets, and the sort of feel that they want, and also to go with their decor in the background. The other thing is, of course, a venue manager, which comes in from a hospitality background, a DJ or a band, which is, I think, again, pretty common. A makeup artist and hairstylist, I think I love that it has grown, but also it can range anywhere from thousands or a couple of lakhs, as well, as Punya also mentioned over here. Stationery designer is something very different that has come today, because now when we look at a lot of now it's the trend for e-cards, right? So a lot of people send out invites for save the dates. And for that, a graphic designer with a very strong aptitude is I think, important. I think Pranay would agree that everybody's sending out a lot of video invites as well. So that is a huge place. When we think of, I think, graphic designers, we only look at the marketing industry, but I think there's a huge potential in the wedding industry as well.
It's a great potential. Why I would say they are like Icha Talreja is now charging lakh rupees just for the e-card.
How many lakhs? Wow.
Icha Talreja designed for Ambani's, and any of the good graphic designers is charging like 2.5 to 3 lakh rupees per e-card.
Wow.
Like we charge almost around like 4.5 to 6 lakh rupees per e-card.
Wow. Okay, I was thinking of hiring you for my wedding, but Pranay, I will have to consider.
No, we are reasonable.
Okay, the other is, of course, jewelry specialist as well, who are designing the jewelries. Lighting and sound technician. One thing is, if you'll see, people are creating some sort of graphics in the sky as well using light and sound. So that is another the ability to be able to play with that. The sound engineering background, I think, is very helpful in that case. The cakes are of course only getting bigger and grander and much more intricate, which is, I think, a skill set that is really important. Being able, a lot of patience is really necessary for the same. We, of course, fashion designers. Was also unique to note was that how Manish Malhotra was in the limelight and Sabyasachi wasn't in the Ambani wedding, but of course that's a different discussion. Punya and I have had a lot of that. There are also honeymoon travel consultants because now, all thanks to the tourism that is there, people are hiring people for the same as well, depending on what they like to do, since they're also getting to know each other and they don't want to get into a fight very early on into the wedding. All right. But I think these are all pretty common that we've been hearing from a very long time. What has come with now the grandeur of events is also, if you see a wedding tech specialist, that would be somebody who's looking into, people have apps for their weddings. They have pictures, they have websites made for their weddings, which is all, I think, comes from a place of love. But of course, it shows the grandeur in terms of as soon as your budgets increase. Now, in the wedding tech specialist, what would also come is even photographers hire individuals to just scan your picture instead of going through the tens and thousands of pictures that you have that you have to walk through everybody. Instead, you can just scan your picture and then you'll find just your pictures out of all of them. So that is also something that a wedding tech specialist is looking into. A drone operator as well. I think we see a lot of them, especially during the time of fairas. Something also very interesting that has come is now your wedding content creator. I think some of them, like Shadi BTS, has been doing a fab job recording people, helping them build memories, and some creating some content. Because now I think what I've seen amongst brides, I think even in my family, is that they like to see their wedding pictures all around on a lot of social media pages, talking about how the bride was, what she wore, where it was situated, and all of that. So even creating some interesting content like that. Then, of course, an experienced curator is coming under that. But I think one is for your trousseau and gifting, because now people want to give favors. How to really gift it? What does your budget look like? What to gift? So if it is a silver anniversary, you need something which is made of silver, because that is what the tradition is. And sometimes people don't know where to look at or how to look at. The other thing is, while we were talking, was a sommelier as well as somebody who is a mixologist. So if you feel really passionate about drinks, and I think that is a really nice, because people now talk about how much do we want to give in, to our bartenders. They're very, very passionate, especially in the Punjabi wedding sector. The other that I came up was somebody who's looking into sustainability, because now with people becoming more and more passionate about sustainable practices around themselves, they're really looking at how can we make our wedding more sustainable. And hence somebody who's really passionate about sustainability can talk about right from anything about the straws that they're using to some of the material that they're using for their weddings as well. And I think a very important skill set for any of these is the ability to handle logistics and supply chain. Because as I was hearing Pranay speak, I think it can get very messy, because there's just so much. I think just to plan a wedding, there's so many things that go around. Somebody who can handle logistics is extremely, extremely
And I
important.
think somebody to handle the emotions of the bride and the groom more
A
than
psychologist, yes.
Psychologist, actually. Because
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of times where brides have actually said, I can't do this. I don't know if I'm actually the last wedding, the bride and the mother had fight. And just because the bride wanted to sleep during haldi time and mother was not letting her sleep. So like, do you mind? Should I get ready or should I sleep? And of course, because it was a very heavy Sangeet night, she pounced up almost at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and 8 o'clock was haldi. She did not come for haldi. She did.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Navya. I think you've
you.
given us some very useful insights. Now we'll move to Ritu. Ritu Vasan is another college counselor who's with us today, and she's going to be sharing some further insights to what Navya has already shared. Over to you, Ritu. Ritu, you're on mute.
Hi, good morning. I think it's just not afternoon yet. So good morning, everyone. It was really a pleasure hearing a lot about the wedding industry from the eminent guests here and also from my colleague Navya. I think listening to all three of you, we have covered a lot of aspects. In fact, whatever I had thought of, I think most of it has been covered by Navya. What I'm going to do is I've created a small presentation. If Punya, you would allow me, I will just kind of compile everything because that's exactly what has been already on my plate. And I think almost everything has been covered. So I'll just kind of quickly compile and see if there are a few things that I can add on. We can always talk about.
Ritu, I've given you the rights.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'll just... can you all see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, sure. So, so if I look at it, just come on. So, okay, yeah. So, this is what we're talking about, right? We're talking about careers in the celebration space, where weddings are much larger than the festivals also today. So careers and celebrations is what we are talking about. We have already discussed all these careers: event planning, management, logistics, decoration, which will include the flower decorations and the creative aspects of the wedding. PR and media, public relations is extremely important, and so is social media influence. Catering, which includes your cakes and your food choices and the variety and the expanse of the food choices today. Hospitality, we have already spoken about. The nutrition, mental health, and fitness that we have already covered when we spoke about psychology, and also fitness and nutrition is also extremely important. So these are the scope of these are the sectors where the aspiring wedding professionals may venture into and create a career for themselves. Fashion, jewelry and accessory design, beauty, makeup, styling, B-scope bridal boutique. Now, this is what Navya spoke about. Bridal consultants, which are very customized to the bride, with not only the trousseau and their accessories, but also their complete understanding of the bride, right? Then wedding tourism, of course, destination weddings are on the rise. So wedding tourism is one of the very important factors that needs to be considered. Photography and videography, entertainment, as Pranay mentioned about Badsha and other celebrities coming in. So entertainment part not only from the DJs, but also from if you look at the last point, legal, licensing and contractual, being a liaison between the celebrities today and working with them is also a important part, depending again on the expanse of the wedding. Wedding technology, we'll speak a lot about technology in later slides, but yes, wedding technology, right from e-invites to social media to creation of content, to lighting and sound, to drone shooting, drone videography, all that comes under technology. Gifting, as most of you kind of mentioned also in your in the chat boxes, gifting is definitely a very important piece. Another thing that came is luxury concierge services, where because it's now luxury weddings, and that's what the trend has been, with destination weddings coming in, a lot of concierge services where you're taking care of the needs of the guests at a drop of a hat is also part of the industry. Licensing with the celebrities, legal, licensing and contractual documentation, all of that forms the part of the wedding industry per se. Just to kind of give a brief view, this is taken from the wedding wish list. This is the graph that I have not made, but this is, and I'm sure Pranay and Neeti would be able to kind of comment on this, or on the source, or on the authenticity of it. But this is what I found, and I think it is more or less sums up the kind of importance and influence on various industry segments that are there within the wedding industry. A few data.
Okay, can I also
Yeah,
add one more thing to this
sure.
list? So I've recently added this. Generally, what happens, we are only focusing on the bride and groom, look, makeup when it comes to makeup industry, we're styling them.
Correct.
But this year, I launched a company where we were also setting up twice the launch setup for all the guests walking in the wedding for their looks, for their makeup and hair. So it
Sure.
was pretty successful. It
So
was
in
a
that
gap
case,
filled.
so in that case, makeup may just increase to some percentage.
Yes.
Yes, I completely agree to that. So as I said, this is not what I created. This was I found on the on a website, and that's not, I thought
That's
just
fine. That's fine. Means tentative, you're almost right there. Means,
yeah.
yeah. Just the decoration part is now the cost.
Yes, it has kind of, yes, risen. This is the data from 2022, 2023, I think. That is the year that we're talking about. Here in this also I found, and I found this very interesting. If you look at it, the technology intervention is increasing. And it is going to be way more in coming years, considering the nuclear families and the and very career oriented youngsters today. This is how the technology intervention is going to be on rise. Another thing that kind of looked was very interesting is about 52% are adopting eco-friendly measures, which means sustainability becomes a very large part of the wedding careers, and being environmentally conscious and environmentally aware as even as an individual who wants to be part of that wedding industry will help. So I think that part is also there. Then these are the niche areas or the emerging trends. I'm sure Pranay also mentioned it in his presentation. But yes, use of advanced technology in weddings is an emerging trend, and it's going to stay with AI and technology intervention all around. This is use of advanced technology in weddings, whether it's e-invites, whether it's lighting and sound, whether it's whether it's creating social content or social media influence, creating the apps, the matchmaking tools, or dating apps, or even the platform aggregators, wedding platform aggregators. Like there are so many I could find out on the website. So there are a lot of wedding aggregators on which are online, and they're providing the vendor selections from A to Z. All the services are being provided on an aggregator platform. So those kind of advanced technology interventions will be required. They are the emerging trend. Similarly, destination weddings, so wedding tourism is on the rise. That is extremely important. Growing influence of social media, as well as social media influencers being part of the weddings, is also a growing trend. Bespoke weddings, very unique and special. We whether it's a high HNI clients, or whether the middle class families, or whether the upper middle class families, everybody wants their wedding to be unique and special. So a lot of creativity is required to kind of plan those weddings. Luxury is required, but luxury weddings are a key today, but so are environmentally sustainable weddings. So it
Just to add, Ritu, I think all college counselors here will be able to become wedding planners in the future at some point.
yeah, because
given
we've all become pro in managing lot of things at one go, which is
I
what
already know of a college counseling firm that started a vertical because they have so much data of last few years of kids they have placed at different organizations. So now if somebody says I want a Harvard grad for my daughter, they have the data and they can match all of this. So I think if for all college counselors here, if they want to diversify, you can actually think of becoming a matchmaking platform as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing which I found, which is very interesting, I don't know if Niti and Pranay will agree or maybe put some insight into it. I found, and it was rise of professional guests. Is it true? I don't know. You have to tell me if that's a
I
right.
didn't get you.
So rise of professional guests is what I found on a lot of while I was doing my research for the wedding industry. I found this that now the guests are being professionally hired because
Yes.
for people who do not, for the hosts who do not have a lot of relatives to attend the weddings, being nuclear families or everybody is spread all across the globe, people may not be able to attend the weddings. So there are professional guests, they're being hired. So is that true?
So of course it is true. So basically what is exactly happening, there are few websites where a lot of foreigners, they
Mhm.
pay to attend your wedding, correct?
Correct.
So last time when I was doing one wedding in Alila Bishangarh, which is in Jaipur, so there were almost around about 15 to 20 foreigners. They offered us to pay and they wanted to attend the wedding.
Correct.
And actually, so it turned out they paid for everything and they were actually attending the wedding. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's about it. I think so that's a great idea.
That's a great career path for kids who don't want to do anything.
And trust me, not that the amount is not that less, huh? They pay
Yeah.
good amount of money to you. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's like it's pretty nice. Like of course it is
Yeah.
happening. A lot of tier two weddings are doing this. A lot of tier two
Correct.
weddings are doing this.
Correct.
In fact,
Correct.
I should not actually mention here, but of course there was a big wedding just happened right now, and they were of course it was more like a networking event.
Correct.
It
Yes.
was like a networking event. It was not that what he actually spent was looks like it was more of a networking event. So I don't think so. He's done anything wrong though there.
Absolutely. Uh, so these are the same unique trends, reels and rise of e-invites, guest involvement. This I also kind of found very interesting that weddings are today, they want guests to be engaged, not only just come and spend some evenings with the host, but also engage like never before through some activities, of course, dance performances, but other nitbit things also. Eco-friendly initiatives, mini money, which is your close family and friend celebrations. So this is something that interesting that I found. Of course, we have industry experts here, so they will be able to justify or they will be able to talk more about it. We're talking about technology in wedding. So of course, as I said, dating matchmaking apps, planning apps, wedding aggregator platforms like WedMe, Good Wedding. These are the few ones that I found. Immersive 3D virtual venue tours. This is something that is being played. Virtual wedding experience for those who are not able to join in. There are virtual wedding experiences through the AI, augmented reality, and the VR that's happening. Drone and AI-enabled photography and videography, and of course, e-invite. So technology is involved, and of course, sound and lighting here also. So,
So a lot of careers, Ritu, yeah.
yeah, a
So
lot of careers, yeah. So my last slide here is just about careers. This is my last thing. So education pathways, as we said, I think Navya has covered all of it: event management, hospitality, fashion design, styling, makeup, jewelry, accessory. Business and entrepreneurship is definitely there because if you're planning to start something of your own, those kind of formal trainings may help. Logistics, supply chain, creative arts and writing, I think is one of the education pathways that kids can, and I'm not talking only about the degrees, I'm talking about degrees, diplomas, certificates, any kind of things. Computer science and technology, PR, mass media, digital marketing, photography, filmmaking. Travel and tourism because of destination. The other thing which I found interesting was cultural studies, which I feel is very important to understand the culture of communities, of maybe the religious anecdotes or the traditions or the customs or the cultures of the communities. They're very different. And to understand those culture studies is a good pathway to kind of connect with people and be part of this industry. and anthropology, which is basically a social. These are the education pathways. Plus, of course, as we know, as Pranay also mentioned, there are now specialized wedding schools. So if you're not going into contemporary degrees and diplomas as students, and you're very, very clear that you want to get into a wedding career, then there are wedding schools also, which the kids can take. And the skills required, primarily creativity, networking, entrepreneurial skills, digital literacy, social media literacy. Eye to detail, I think, is extremely important. Practical experience, I think when you learn on the ground, that is what makes it more convincing and
So
compelling.
Ritu, in the interest of time, let's just quickly move
Yeah.
the planning.
that is-
the panel. We have a 5-minute Q&A that we can do, and then
Sure.
if there are any
In fact,
questions.
I would just like to add one more thing in Miss Ritu. There are a
Yes.
lot of small ideas now, something like make your own perfume bars, small
Correct.
games. And this has actually
Technology.
been a major game changer in our wedding industry, which is known as DIY giveaways. And
Yes.
trust me, people are minting money. Minting money is not the word, trust me, because DIY games have actually changed. So if you like playing games, add it to wedding, and it's a game changing. So that's the most interesting thing, and people are actually doing a lot of work in that. You can become an anchor.
Yes, absolutely. Entertainment, being a master of the ceremony, MC would be a great thing.
In
Yes.
fact, Ritu, you mentioned that wedding schools, and there are so many stakeholders in the education industry. I think anybody here who's looking at doing some entrepreneurial gig within the education space, you can look at, like, we have a TOC member who just started a school of luxury, which he claimed was one of the first luxury programs in India. I think what all of us now need to look at is possibly a program in the education at the intersection of education and wedding, and maybe having a dedicated undergrad program or a certificate program with some meat which is focused on the education on the wedding industry, given that it's the second largest consumer spending industry in India after food. So I think this is definitely an entrepreneurial opportunity for all of us sitting here. I'm just going to jump into a few questions that I've planned for all the 4 guests here. My first question is for Neeti. So Neeti, if you can tell us how the recent Ambani wedding highlighted the scale and scope of the Indian wedding industry as a whole, according to you.
If you look at the Ambani wedding, it was all about grand. And, when I look at it as a makeup artist, again, I shared with you, it was all grand in decor, all grand in food, all grand in floral. But the makeup was all about enhancing features, looking more dewy, looking more graceful. If you look at the makeup looks, it was all about sculpted faces, highlighted cheekbones, And if you look at all the outfits of the bride or even the mother or even the guest coming in, they were from modern to contemporary. It was a mix. You had mix of braids and high updos, and it was more about enhancing the look of the client, whether it was a celebrity, whether it was a bride or the mother.
Sure.
So this is what we noticed in the Ambani wedding when it came to
Right.
makeup.
All right, thank you. Pranay, can you share a very unique challenge or memorable anecdote from your career?
Okay, I'll tell you about very interesting, very interesting wedding experience. So I was doing 2 years back, I was doing a wedding in Dharamshala. This is in Himachal. I hope you guys know that. So we bought over entire Dharamshala. Entire Dharamshala. I mean, entire Dharamshala was with me. Correct. And I was expecting almost around about. So we were doing it in Radisson, and my client told me that we will be almost 300 people, 350 people. I was like, this place can't accommodate this much. Correct. It doesn't matter to me. You got to do this. I was like, okay, fine. I bought over an entire Dharamshala. So I said, how many drivers you'll have? He said, no more than 50. I was like, fine, fair enough. He invited CM, he invited this, he invited that. I had more than 250 drivers. All right. And I did not have to make them place to stay. And so I had one event happening at Radisson and another event happening at driver's place. So I had to increase my team and I had to call people from Delhi to manage those drivers because it is much easy to handle basically what you call your guests, and it is very tough to handle drivers. It was insane. So this was one part of that wedding. Now, second part of that wedding, first, of course, logistically, you're getting things from Delhi, Chandigarh, very okay, very good. Now, very interesting part. Now, here I come. Vedi is ready, Mandap is ready, stage is ready, everything is ready. I am on time. I am happy. I was actually planning to go for coffee, and I turn around and I say, "It's a big storm," and my Vedi was on the pool. The pool, as it was an infinity pool, correct? And I turned around and everything is washed. Everything is over, and the Bharat is actually started there. All right, Bharat is gonna come. I have an early Feras. I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's washed. Client has come to me. He's saying, "What is happening?" I was like, "Dude, what I'm gonna do now?" So I just called up who was handling my Bharat team. I called up, मैंने कहा, "Bro, Bharat लेट कराओ." मैंने कहा, "दारू चलवाओ." मैंने कहा, "पीछे और दारू करवाओ." मैंने सीधा बोला, मैंने कहा, "Dude, nothing doing. I got all the mixologists and all." मैं कहा, ये खत्म होके आने चाहिए, इनको पता ही नहीं लगना चाहिए क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे. And within span of, so जो बारात थी आपकी for 1 hour, I stretched it to 2.5 hours. ठीक है? In the meanwhile, I got that structured ready again. All right, the entire structure was set up, and the guests, when they came to that venue, no one knew what actually happened. So
Thank you so much, Pranay. This is really, insightful. My next question is for Navya. So Navya, if hopefully after today's presentation, a lot of aspiring youth are looking at wedding as a whole, as an industry to get into. And of course, there are so many careers, and each career has its unique skill set or career path. But if today students may not be awakened to what their calling is, but they know that they want to do something in the wedding industry, what are some of the top 3 skills that come to your mind that they should be looking at honing right now when they're focusing on skills more than career?
I think, Punya, it's an excellent question, and I think more than 3, it's 4. I know that there are 3, but when I hear Pranay, I think the very first one has to be disaster management. The ability to be able to handle setbacks as and when they come along the way. And of course, I think even be it counselors also, any field as such will have a lot of disasters. But I think for them, it's right there on the spot that happens. So the ability to be able to handle that, I think, is one of the most important ones. Second, I think, is excellent communication skills, the ability to be able to talk to people, clients, vendors, and also make sure that there isn't a lot of confusion when you're conveying it to a particular client or a particular vendor is also very important, because I think miscommunication can often cause a lot of problems in that as well. The third one, I think, is creativity, because as we can see with the grandeur of events, everybody wants their events to be top notch. They want it to be a set apart, and they wanted to make all the reels. So I think creativity is a very important aspect. And lastly, I think, as I said, logistics and supply chain, the ability to be able to handle everybody all together, making sure that things are falling in place, deadlines are clear, is, I think, very, very important.
Thank you so much, Navya. I think you summarized it very well. My last question for today is for Ritu. Ritu, can you highlight some interdisciplinary opportunities that combine elements of wedding industry with other fields?
Yes, if you look at the the kind of roles that the wedding industry offers, there are interdisciplinary fields where a wedding planner or a person who is into a wedding industry can also get into, say, licensing opportunities or licensing opportunities with the celebrity consultants. So that is an additional field. The other interdisciplinary thing could be a visual communication and graphics and animation, which may not be only used for wedding, but may also be used for other events. So that is a separate niche that can come in out of it. Other than that, so there are multiple areas where, because as a wedding industry, when you're paying attention to detail on each on every scope of the work, then definitely the work related particularly to that particular industry sector will also can be combined with the wedding industry. So that is how I feel. And of course, if you look at concierge services, so if I'm a wedding planner and I'm looking at a concierge also, it's an interdisciplinary thing which works very well. So travel, tourism, ticketing, all that is interdisciplinary scope of work.
Sure. Thank you, Ritu. I think with this, we almost come to the end of the session. Unless any of you have any questions, any insights, there's been a lot of positive banter on the group. I'm very, very happy to see so much interaction going on while the speakers were talking here. But if anybody wants to unmute themselves for a few seconds and just share any feedback, any insights, any questions, please feel free to. Is there any question anybody has they want to ask? We can have it addressed from the horse's mouth. We have two very eminent counselors as well as people from the wedding industry who can actually answer your questions.
Punya, I don't really have a question. I'm Janvi here. I just wanted to say I think this was really nice. And it was a fun session to hear from everyone that there's so much serious business when people look at weddings as a whole. So I think it was a good, fresh perspective, given that all of us at different times spoke about the Ambani wedding. And so I think it was a great conversation. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Pranay. Thank you, Neeti.
Thank you. Right.
So I'm just going to convey my formal thanks now to all the four speakers. Thank you, Pranay and Neeti. Thank you, first of all, for all the great work that you do and for contributing to the great wedding economy that we spoke of today. Without you, I don't think the wedding industry would be where it is today. So thank you so much. And thank you for coming and sharing your insights with everybody here unhesitantly. And thank you, Ritu and Navya. You guys are visionaries who shape a lot of future lives. And I'm sure people will be looking up to you for your guidance, and you will be fostering a lot of more people to get into the wedding industry in the future. Thank you all the attendees here, both TOC and non-TOC members. Non-TOC members, you've gotten a flavor of what TOC is about. We do a lot of these candid and informative sessions, and we look forward to having most of you for many, many more sessions in the future. Thank you, everybody. Hope you guys have a great Saturday, a great weekend. And at some point, I hope our paths cross again and we look forward to interacting with each other. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
everybody.
Have a nice